We're going to call this meeting of the Legislative Committee of the Dunn County Board of Supervisors to order Wednesday, May 10th, 2023 at 3 p.m. First order of business is the call to order, which we just had. Next order of business is call of the roll. County Manager Corpola, would you signify whether we're here or not?
All members of the Legislative Committee are present.
Thank you. Next order of business is the approval of the minutes from the April 12th, 2023 meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Morehouse moves. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Hedlund, he's got that quick left hand. He beat you there, Supervisor Zahn. We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next order of business is public comments. I'm unaware of any public comments. Nobody else has any awareness either, so there are none. Okay, number 5, the consideration of action to be taken by the Legislative Committee resolution in support of funding for Heritage Hall renovation. It should have been in your packet or came a day later. I don't know if everybody's read it, but why don't we just take a minute, read it at your desk here, and then we'll move on to the action item. Would you like to flesh out what Chancellor Frank had to say at the EDC about, trying to put the pressure on? Or I could do that too, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm trying to solve a technical problem.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. When everybody's had a chance to read it, give me the thumbs up. Yeah. I might just flesh this out a little bit. The Chancellor, Ms. Frank, addressed the Greater Menominee Development Corporation and asked for the support. The legislature has already appropriated half the money for the building, but they have yet to act on the second half of the money. And what Chancellor Frank is trying to do is garner as much support as she can get. Very important to our county and the educational opportunities for our kids here. So I'm urging that if everybody's read it, I would entertain a motion to approve this. Are there any questions that I can answer, if you have any?
Do you want the motion first?
Yeah, probably that'd be correct. Is there a motion?
I would so move, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Hedlund moves. Is there a second?
Second.
You're late again. Supervisor Calabrese. He slid that out behind his beard there. Faked me out. Okay, we have a motion and a second here. Any discussion, questions, or anything? Supervisor Kinnear.
Thank you. I'm just curious, how is this different than any other building project on the campus?
If I've got my figures almost correct, it's at the point where it's falling apart. It's been a need for about 20 years to have this done.
My question wasn't very good. I'm sorry. How is this different than us supporting renovations and building? That goes on continuously every year. This is the first time we've supported it, isn't it?
I think if I'm understanding Chancellor Frank correctly, is that any pressure or indication that the local bodies are behind this would add impetus to the legislators to okaying this to happen. Does that answer your question?
And that's not normal?
I
don't believe they've ever asked for our support for a building project before, which would probably be the main distinction between this and prior building projects.
I think this has been in the works for quite a few years, and I'm sorry that I don't have more pinpoint information on this. But what she does not want to happen is that have it half okayed and then not get the second half. She's looking for any help that would be available in support of the project.
Thank you.
Chair Steen?
Supervisor Rogers.
So I guess I'm not completely understanding why we're setting new precedents to get involved in the legislation of how they allot their money for different projects within the university system. I guess I don't understand why it's necessary for us to do this. It's not that it's a bad project. I actually hope they do it, but the precedents to get involved with trying to tell them what they should and shouldn't approve, to me, just don't quite seem the route to go down.
If I might, it wouldn't be setting a precedent. We have passed resolutions in support of other, not building projects, but other things with the university before. There was one in about 2012 where we supported a request by the university system for increased faculty pay. The reason I remember is I recused myself because my wife works for the system.
Supervisor or Chair Steen? Yeah.
Yes, the county manager, Chris.
So I believe that one of the reasons why this project sits differently than perhaps some other building projects is because of the programs that it supports. So, and most importantly, their mental health programming and their childcare and their education programming, but probably most important, mental health and childcare. So they actually train mental health counselors in their programming, and they create the workforce that serves the childcare industry locally. I think that those are both things that directly impact Dunn County in a different way than maybe some other things do. One of the things the governor had declared 2023 the year of mental health, but I think the biggest gap in that plan is that we have an absence or a shortage of providers. And this is one program, one building, one piece of local programming that actually goes to meet the need. A lot of the people that do graduate out of UW Stout's counseling program do their internships here. They serve locally in the community, work locally in the community. I think that's one thing that sets us, in my mind, sets us apart from other things that might or might not come before us, is that there actually are identified community needs, and this is one mechanism to begin to address them.
Any other questions or comments? Appreciate all your comments. I don't disagree with Supervisor Rogers, although I would say that it doesn't hurt to show them that locally that it's got a lot of support. Doesn't hurt to nudge your legislators, I don't think. Any other comments? Hearing none.
Oh, if I could just add one other thing.
Yes, there's another
I was going to
comment.
say it's a $137 million project as well, which one cannot potential, there is an economic impact locally with that size of a project, which also I think is a direct impact on the county.
And I'm just going to make one note. I'm actually not going to recuse myself this time around because after recusing myself on the one previous vote about the university, Corporation Council took me aside and said, hey, it's advisory. You're fine.
Okay.
Nick, do you have something to add to that? Yeah.
All right, thank you for the comments. We got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. The next meeting is June 14th, 2023 at 3 o'clock. Does that, and that'll be prior to our regular executive board meeting, should be okay, I think. I thank you for coming today early. And that concludes our business. So we're adjourned.